Hey, I'm still working on that Easy D6 system, but I thought it'd be interesting to go through because I keep on talking about how I create RPGs. So this is one I created in '96, and it's in a handmade notebook. I didn't make the notebook, but the notebook is leather, and it was made out of a jacket. And someone gave it to me. Here's a jacket pocket, but it's made out of leather. It's really neat. It's handmade, and so I thought, well, I'll make a game in it. Now at the time, I had made a few games, but I hadn't actually. Oh, I don't know how to say. I hadn't actually. Well, I had finished them. But I hadn't really written the rules out all that much, just some notes and stuff, and sort of wung it, and that worked. Like I made a game that was just based all on traps, a dungeon just full of traps, for example. So anyway, this one taught me a great lesson, because I spent a lot of time writing it out. I didn't make notes. I had an idea in my mind of what I wanted, so I wrote the whole thing out, and without playtesting it at any stage. So now I know when I make games and stuff. Now I take the dice out and I frequently test it, and I just make sure that the actual, my ideas are gonna work. So here, we'll dive into this and I'll show you. It's I don't know, you might find it interesting. It's fun. It's nostalgic for me. It's been a long time since I've taken a look at this, but it survived. So what I did, believe it or not, is I hand wrote it all out. So I've got my ability bonus here: strength, agility, endurance, presence, willpower, and intelligence. So basically, it's like most games, it's based on D&D. At the time, that's mostly what all games that I knew about anyway were doing. So it's a point-buy system. This system, I kind of like it. It was kind of interesting, because you could buy dice to roll your bonuses randomly, which was much cheaper than just buying your bonuses outright. But you could buy your bonuses. So you would buy percentile bonuses for each one of your attributes, or you could buy a number of dice for your attributes and then roll for your attributes randomly, and that would save you some points. And then the reason to do that would be because you also would use your points to purchase skills. So if you could buy random rolls and save yourself some points to buy skills, then that was a bonus. So that's actually a system I've never seen before. So yeah, I kind of like that one actually. And so the way that they work, I believe, and I haven't read through this, but my understanding is that you get a level bonus, and your level bonus is multiplied by your level, but you also get an ability bonus, and it's not multiplied, it's just added on to that total, making levels quite powerful. So we keep levels down to being about 20 or so. So here I had a list of professions. Can you see them all? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I'm trying to fit this into the camera a little bit hard. This isn't gonna be in 4K because it's gonna be a little bit longer, I think. So I'm hoping my camera can manage it. But anyway, so these are all the different professions, and the ones with little stars have asterisks, or the ones with asterisks are actually magic users. And then here, just a minute, I'm gonna come back in a second. My window's open, so it's making a little bit of noise there. I thought I'd shut it. Yeah, so and each warrior has a special ability. So there's a ton of classes. I really went all out on this. And then these are the bonuses that you get per level, and this is multiplied by your level. So a warrior would have his combat skills. Any combat skills would be 3 times his level. So 3% at first level, 6 at second, etc., etc. Yeah, and then each one had a special ability. And I remember these were tough, trying to come up with stuff for these. But I did it, and it's kind of interesting. So then each profession is explained. Like the warrior has stamina. This skill gives the warrior a chance to ignore the penalties from critical wounds up to the stamina skill bonus. The penalty can be ignored as long as a successful skill test is made each round, but the warrior is still subject to death. Yeah, so they all have different special abilities. Assassin has silent kill, a sorcerer has transfer, cleric, healer, pleader, demonologist, sage. And then I had difficulties with the target number. Now this looks a lot like Rollmaster to me, so I was obviously heavily inspired by Rollmaster, I would say. Because Rollmaster basically has this exact thing, except its normal is let me see, I don't remember. I think maybe normal, I think difficult is 100. Whereas I've got average is 80. So I think that's pretty much on par with Rollmaster. And then you roll your percentile dice and you add your bonuses to it, and if you roll over that, you hit. Or you don't hit, but you accomplish your skill and whatever. And then I had different modifiers and stuff. And then these are all the different skill pools. And then I actually went through and I wrote all of the skills down. It's a lot of work. And then the esoteric skills, social skills, all kinds of stuff in here. And the combat was really involved. So I had 4 classes of damage: hack, slash, crush, and stab. Then an agility penalty for using certain weapons. They also had a reach and then a cost, obviously. And this was a space save for ranged weapons. And then my armor, I had armor really broken down. I had everything: ring padded leather, ring leather, studded leather, rigid leather, chain, double chain, scale mail. And then I had, this is another thing I haven't really seen before. I'm sure someone's done it, but I haven't seen it before. I thought this was kind of interesting. Was my hit locations. For a medium-sized creature, it uses a 12-sided die, but for large and small creatures, it only uses a 10, and then you adjust it either way. For large, you adjust it up that way. For small, you adjust it that way. And the reason is, and this is in relation to you. So if you were medium attacking a small creature, then you would use the large table. If a small creature was attacking you, then it would use the large table. And the reason is because you're less likely to hit, the lower, against if the creature's large, man, I have it inverted here, I think. Anyway, the idea is that the smaller the creature is, the more likely, the more likely you are. So this is you. If you're large against a small, you would use this table. If you're large against large, so it's in relation to you. So if you're large against large, then that would be medium. If you're large against giant, then you would use this. And you're less likely to hit the lower legs, right? As opposed to if your target is small, you're more likely to hit the head and stuff, right? Man. That's setting off my dyslexia, let me tell you. And then armor, I had it actually piecemeal set out so that you could actually make the armor piecemeal if you wanted. And the combat rules, then they were quite involved. Damage and critical hits. So I had all the different critical hit types. So basically, I think I have dazed, bleed, and bone damage. So you could be dazed, you could be bleeding, and you could have broken bones and stuff. And so the idea there is, well, you know, it's a combat system. The idea there, I don't know what I'm thinking. All right, I'm just trying to see if I'm gonna run out of time yet on my phone. My phone only has so much tape in it, apparently. So then daze damage takes a turn to get over, bleed damage takes hours to get over, and bone damage takes days to get over. That was the idea there. I actually kind of like this system. I kind of still like to use something similar to that in most of my systems. Then I had magical contamination. So if you failed in a spell, you could get contaminated. So that was a thing. I hadn't seen that in, oh wait a minute, maybe I had. Yes, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay had idea of contamination or chaos or whatever. But anyway, this was sort of what would happen to you if you failed a spell roll. You could get contaminated. Then I had my magic rules. Granted magic, that would be like clerics and stuff. And then instead of spells, they would get favors. So this has a really neat system in it that I actually want to still use. I'm not even going to talk about it. So saving throws, magic languages. Yeah, that was one of the things. In order to cast certain kinds of magic, you had to know the languages. If you didn't know the language, you couldn't cast a spell. And then, again, kind of inspired by Rolemaster. And a thing that I'm going to incorporate again in even in Easy D6, I'm already looking at how to incorporate this idea, because it's one of the aspects of Rolemaster I absolutely love. And I'll go through Rolemaster. I'll do a whole review of Rolemaster at some point, because it's my favorite game by far. I love it. I like it. It's by far my favorite. The old school game. So what happens here is that you have a spell like summoning, and then you have all your different difficulties, and the difficulties dictate what the outcomes are going to be like. So in Rolemaster it had levels. This has difficulties. So that's the idea behind it, and I wrote out all these spells, believe it or not. Wizard spells, necromancer. I don't think I did a lot for all of them, just, yeah, sorcerer, elementalist. Yeah, alright, and then I hit the end. So that's it. That was everything I did. So anyway, so the lesson that I was going to get into with this, the lesson that I had with this one is two things. When I got it all together, I got a friend we decided to play test it. Remember, I wrote all this out, and then I found it had a bunch of big errors in it. Yeah, I wasn't impressed. And I don't remember exactly what the errors are. You know what? I need to go through, make a character, and try it out again, because I don't remember. I remember I only tried it the one time, and I couldn't make it work, and I got really frustrated and frankly embarrassed, and I just put this away and never looked at it again. So one play test, that's basically what happened to me. And the other thing that I learned about it is that one of the hardest things for me anyway when designing a system, and I've designed lots of other systems too, right? And I'll show you those later. But anyway, in designing a system, one of the things that I found really difficult is keeping complexity down. And when I see games online, people making games and designing games and stuff, I see that. I see this escalating complexity. And that's a thing that I've learned to watch for and to prevent in myself and try and keep it simple. I just constantly remind myself, keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. Because it's really easy to just start going down rabbit holes, man. And before you know it, you have Hackmaster, you know? And, Dangerous Journeys. Oh my God, I've got to do a review about that game. That game is just next level complex. I actually met somebody who played it. And that Dangerous Journeys was made by Gary Gygax. And I actually met somebody in Seattle that played that game. And he actually had a group that played it. I think he must be a genius, you know? Like, wasted talent. Why aren't you designing rockets or something, you know? He was pretty young at the time. But I was like, oh my God. I had that book. There's no way I could play that one. It was insane. So anyway, and I could play Rollmaster. So that's saying something, right? Because Rollmaster is about as complicated as they come. Well, until that one. And Hackmaster, I'll go through that one too and show you. It's like, holy crap. I know it's supposed to be a joke, but I don't know. It didn't seem too funny. They seemed pretty serious about what they were doing. So yeah, those are my two big takeaways from this. My two big lessons that I learned from designing this game. Play test all the way through it and keep it simple, stupid. That's it. You know? That's huge lessons, man. If you're designing a role-playing game, for myself anyway, hugely important. All right. Thanks for watching. If you're still watching up to this point, please give me a thumbs up. Not a lot of people are doing that, and it would really help me out. Also, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. And yeah, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'm going to make more content, so keep checking back. All right, take care.